The woodlands of the Iberian Peninsula in Europe's southwest corner form one of the most extraordinary forests in the world. A complex ecosystem stretching across Spain and Portugal. These woods teem with wildness and life. For thousands of years, some of the most astonishing, endangered, and unusual animals on Earth have made this place their home. A habitat shaped by the region's proximity to Africa, these are some of the most diverse woodlands in the world. But this is also a savage land. Life here is hard. Every species must fight to survive. Now, with the climate changing faster than ever before, the future here is becoming more uncertain. In these ancient forests that have sustained existence for millennia, life now is always on the edge. The Iberian Peninsula in the southwest corner of Europe is one of the most biodiverse regions on Earth. Its climate and close proximity to Africa make it a unique and complex ecosystem and the gateway between the two continents. Here in southern Spain, one of Europe's best preserved forests is found, the Cork Oak Natural Park in Andalusia. An ancient woodland of cork, holm, and gall oak trees, this is home to a diverse cast of animal species. Alongside the eagles, gennets, and foxes who populate these parts, lives an animal that reached Iberia nearly 3,000 years ago. The mongoose. Found mainly in Africa, this is the sole species of mongoose in Europe. And today, this particular family is hunting wild rabbits, an animal native to Iberia. The mongooses have located an underground rabbit warren that's been unoccupied for some time. They've also identified young rabbits not from the neighborhood who have strayed a little too far away from home. The rabbits sense danger. Whilst agile and fast, they must get underground if they are to be safe. But away from their own warren, this terrain is unfamiliar. And unknown to them, the mongooses are already one step ahead. Strategically positioned, the mongooses usher the rabbits into the abandoned warren, turning it into a trap. The mongooses move in to control all entrances and exits. Expert diggers, they work together to trap a rabbit inside a tunnel. As they dig into the earth, the scent of rabbit grows stronger. Excitement builds as they near their prey. With their attack primed, tension rises. One mistake will let the rabbits escape. At last, this mongoose has broken into a run and come away with a rabbit trapped inside. Whilst the mongoose is hunted as a team, only one rabbit has been caught. And today, the lucky hunter who came away with the prize has no intention of sharing. After waiting for the coast to clear, the remaining rabbits can emerge from underground. Today, they survived on instinct and luck. But they will have learned a valuable lesson about surviving in these woodlands. For all animals here, it's advisable never to stray too far away from home. The Iberian Peninsula is almost entirely surrounded by sea. To the north and west, it is the Atlantic Ocean. To the south and east, the Mediterranean Sea. Here, at Spain's southernmost tip, the Atlantic Ocean and Mediterranean Sea meet to form the famous Strait of Gibraltar. 13 kilometers of water is all that separates Africa and Europe. Each year, over 100,000 ships cross the strait. But ships are not the only ones making the crossing. In late February, the migration of gliding birds begins. Having spent winter in Africa, these birds are now returning to Europe to breed. But crossing the Strait of Gibraltar is demanding, and only the strongest of birds will make it to Europe alive. With the Spanish shoreline tantalizingly close, this black kite is almost there. But its strength is reaching its limit. The lack of thermal currents and the strait's powerful winds are the biggest obstacles. And waiting for it in Spain, yellow-legged gulls, notoriously aggressive, territorial, and brave. Also making the crossing from Africa to Europe, a short-toed eagle accompanies the black kite. Seagulls are specialists in aerial combat. Their attacks are well calculated, aimed to bring down the intruding enemy bird. If the black kite is downed, it's unlikely to survive in the water. Lacking waterproof feathers, it will almost certainly catch hypothermia and drown. Across the migratory season, many black kites will wash up on the shoreline of Spain. For those birds who've crossed the strait for years, this has been their final attempt at migration. Fortunately, most migrating kites do make it to shore alive. For our plucky explorer, his crossing to Europe has been successful. He joins some of the 80,000 other black kites who've also crossed the strait this year. But this is just a stopover, for he has traveled to Europe to breed in the same forest in which he was born. For now, rest and recuperation are in order. He must hydrate and preen his plumage so as to continue his migration in due course. In time, he will use the stars, the sun, and the Earth's magnetism to navigate back home to his birth forest. Once there, he will take possession of a territory and await the arrival of a female. In Iberia's woodlands, the spring rains are one of the great gifts of the year. Replenishing the soils after months of summer drought and frozen winter, they allow plants to bloom and life to awaken. And some have been waiting for this moment for a very long time indeed. Common toads. With the arrival of the spring rains, toads emerge from hibernation and race in great numbers towards their breeding grounds. Amongst the first creatures on Earth to live on dry land, common toads in fact live away from water most of the year. But when breeding, they seek it out, and the more, the better. When mating, male toads clutch to potential mates from behind in a grip that is known as amplexus. A male who has found a potential mate can remain enthusiastically piggybacking in this way for several days. Of course, it means the legwork of finding the perfect spot to breed falls to the females. Fast-running rapids are not ideal. This female toad knows she must reach calmer waters before laying the eggs she carries within. Searching for the perfect spot can take several days. For the female here, it's strenuous work. Despite the slips and bumps, the male's ride has been relatively comfortable in comparison. But as velocity increases, as they travel downstream, perhaps any quiet place will do. In spring, storms are frequent throughout Iberia. Warming air temperatures lead to unstable weather systems, allowing lightning to strike, thunder to roar, and the heavens to open. These storms play a vital part in the forest's ecosystem. The rains they bring are essential for amphibians who depend on the temporary ponds the storms create across the forest floor. once the rains subside, a call of love can be heard. Like common toads, natterjack toads are also mating at this time of year. And this nighttime symphony is the sound of males competing as to who's got the biggest vocal sac. This impatient toad has decided to be proactive. But he's not the only one. Securing the best position on this female is now a competition. But male jostling and rivalry risks drowning the female. And with far more males than females in this pond, the competition to procreate is fierce. In the end, it's first come, first served. Whilst some intimacy is welcome, this male toad is actually hanging on until the time is just right. For male toads do not have copulating organs. To reproduce, they must synchronize the outflowing of their sperm with the female's laying of her eggs. Usually, a female toad will lay between 4,000 and 5,000 eggs in a gelatinous string stretching up to 4 meters in length. Once fertilization is complete, these eggs will be left to their own devices to develop into toad spawn, and their toad parents will go their own ways. Sun and water are the engine of life. And thanks to the rains, longer daylight hours, and rising temperatures, there is, at this time of the year, an explosion of life in Iberia's woodlands. As seeds germinate, the blossoming flowers and plants dress the meadows in color and perfume. Finally, spring has arrived. With the fields in bloom, millions of insects appear. From butterflies and caterpillars to pollinators such as bees, each insect plays an integral role in maintaining the forest's ecosystem and biodiversity. But insects do not merely help pollinate. They are also a source of food for thousands of chicks whose hatching is synchronized to coincide with this abundance of spring. And all animals take advantage of this time to start a new chapter in Iberia's woodlands. For spring is the season of birth, growth, and renewal for all creatures great and small. The sunlight and water of spring help sustain an extraordinarily diverse range of wildlife in Iberia. But the importance of insects in the ecosystem cannot be ignored. For they are the irreplaceable link in the transfer of energy and in the cycle of life. Hidden in this bush, there is an expert insect hunter, a master of camouflage. He is patient like a sniper and fast like a whip. With a tongue that can extend twice its body length and unfurl faster than a jet plane, the common chameleon is one of the most uniquely adapted hunters on the planet. Its secret weapon, a tongue laced with a honey-like adhesive to help bring in their prey. At this time of year, chameleons must eat as much as possible in preparation for mating season. This praying mantis is also a masterful and ambitious hunter, capable of capturing and devouring relatively huge prey. But she's an insect herself, and in this ecosystem, she's further down the food chain than the chameleon, who must take advantage of the good times while they last. After all, his chances of mating depend on being in physically tip-top shape. Here, a female chameleon is approached by a male whose coloration says he's ready to mate. However, she doesn't seem too receptive. Unperturbed, the male moves in closer to try his luck. But the female's body language suggests she does not want a suitor. In fact, her colors indicate that she's already pregnant. In no uncertain terms, she's telling this male to back off. Finally, the male seems to have understood the message. The female's livery and threats have produced the desired effect. The challenge of finding a partner in these parts is profound. However, despite his first rejection, this little male appears to have struck lucky on the rebound. He has found a female who's more receptive to his overtures than the last. This time, her coloration confirms she wants to mate. For both chameleons, the hours spent searching for a partner have not been in vain. They have contributed their genes in the hope of new life. "26 days after mating, and after searching to find an appropriate place, we find the pregnant female emaciated and fatigued, digging a gallery. The work is exhausting. She is late laying her eggs. And as a female in later life, this is likely her last opportunity to reproduce. Success. chameleons lay between 9 and 24 eggs, taking up to an hour between laying the first and the last. Once all the eggs are laid, she buries them before sealing the door and leaving, never to return. Chameleons have lived in Iberia's woodlands for nearly 500 years. And whilst time is running out for this female, she has now done everything in her power to ensure the species will live on. In spring, the warming airs and lush vegetation of Iberia's woodlands make it an ideal habitat for newcomers recently arrived from Africa by air. These playful booted eagles have come to the forests to breed and to rear their recently born eaglets. Booted eagles are natural survivors, well adapted to harsh environments. Here, a breeding pair of parents are working together to tend to their newborn chicks. After hatching, chicks are confined to their nest for up to 75 days whilst fledgling. During this period, their mother guards the nest, while their father goes out hunting for food. Providing in this way is a huge responsibility. But this pair of eagles know what they are doing. They've been breeding in this forest for 15 years and have raised many other chicks before. Feeding mainly on small birds, mammals such as mice, and reptiles such as lizards, the booted eagle has one of the most varied diets amongst European raptors. However, something with these chicks appears to be going wrong. One brother is weaker than the other, so the mother only feeds the stronger chick, who demands all the food. The time has come for both parents to go out hunting, leaving the two little chicks in the nest on their own. However, with one brother growing weak, while the other gets ever stronger, an opportunity has arisen for a display of strength. Nearby, the mother watches, but doesn't intervene. It seems the strongest brother is no longer willing to share the nest. What seems cruel to us humans is normal in the animal kingdom. Chicks must be toughened up if they're to survive in these forests where life is never guaranteed. In this instance, the forest has witnessed a murder. In an act of fratricide, the stronger chick killed his weaker brother. Shocking to human sensibilities, this death, in fact, gives the species the best chance of surviving another generation in Iberia's woodlands. In the woodland sections of deciduous thicket, dead trees can be found scattered across the forest floor. And in this one, life breathes. A genet, perhaps the most beautiful creature in these forests. Originally indigenous to Africa, how genets arrived in Iberia is something of a mystery. It's believed the Phoenicians introduced them here nearly 3,000 years ago, probably as mouse-hunting house pets. Today, genets have colonized nearly every wooded habitat in Spain and are found all over the Iberian Peninsula, right up to the southwestern half of France. The success of the species' survival here has been due to its adaptability and its extraordinary senses, which are activated at their brilliant best at night. In the darkness of the night, genets are like the forest's living shadows. And tonight this one is on the prowl, ready to hunt. She's drawn to a regular hunting ground, an old stone wall. Among these cracks and crevices, she knows there is likely an evening meal to be found. This hedgehog is something of a curiosity. But prickly and protected, it is hardly a suitable snack. Curiosity must not distract the genet from hunting, because now another competitor has entered the fray. Both the tawny owl and the genet have come here to hunt the same prey. Both predators, they are now in competition with one another as they scan and search the area for mice. While the owl waits patiently, the genet plays a bolder opening hand. Like a game of chess, they compete to get into the best position to attack. Venturing out in search of food, this mouse has broken the silence of the night. It is now the exclusive focus of both predators who track its every move. The genet has the best position, but she must be careful. If she makes any noise, the mouse will hide away. Patience is the best strategy for both the owl and the genet. For now, the owl must watch on from above and wait for the closer genet to make a mistake. Having disturbed the mouse, the genet throws caution to the wind. A sudden attack is now her only chance. Success. The genet has won the game. Out-competed, the tawny owl moves on. Tonight, the fate of the forest was kind. The spoils fell to the competitor most in need. For inside this fallen tree trunk, the genet has another mouth to feed. This cub was born 15 days ago, and on a cold night like this one, he urgently needs to receive body heat from his mother. Deprived of food and warmth while his mother has been hunting, the cub is now dangerously cold. Fortunately, she arrives back in time. In the next few weeks, this little cub will start following his mother out on hunts to learn the secrets to surviving in these forests. Then, in around 6 months' time, his mother will expel him from the territory and their relationship will end. But tonight, the maternal bond is sacrosanct. He is her helpless child, and she, his sole protector. The Iberian Peninsula has a greater diversity of reptiles than any other part of Europe. This is thanks to its warm climate and to the region's proximity to Africa, from where many reptile species evolved. Reptiles' metabolisms are ignited by the heat of the sun. And here in southern Spain, once spring has arrived, lack of sun is rarely a problem. These woodlands have been an ideal habitat for reptiles. However, in recent years, unprecedented climate change is having a particularly detrimental effect on them. Unable to generate their own internal heat, they are susceptible to rising temperatures, experiencing increased growth rates, heat stress, and hunger. Today, the sun's scorching heat has awakened the appetite of this particular reptile, the ladder snake. Downwind, it has picked up the scent of a rodent, one of its favorite things to eat. This mouse is busy fixing up the entrance to its new house. It doesn't realize that it's being tracked. Even when out of sight, the snake is able to hone in on its prey thanks to an excellent sense of smell, which it gathers in part by flicking out its tongue to taste odor in the air. As the snake moves in, the mouse finds itself in dangerous open terrain. It does not yet know it, but it is now within reach of the snake's whiplash attack. Finally sensing something is wrong, the mouse scrambles to reach safer ground. At this distance, the mouse can smell its would-be assassin. Protected in this crevice, the mouse thinks it is now safe. But the attack is underway. For the mouse, a close shave. For the ladder snake, lunch today will have to wait. There is a Spanish expression that says, the forest has eyes. And in this instance, someone nearby has watched everything. A golden eagle. Not much escapes its extraordinary eyesight. Even at great distance, its penetrating eyes can detect the slightest movement on the ground. And as the most powerful predator in the Palearctic region, the golden eagle doesn't care about the size of its prey. Few animals are off limits. Even large ladder snakes are not exempt. As the ladder snake heads off to hunt another area, the golden eagle keeps it in his sight. Unlike eagles, snakes are not blessed with the greatest eyesight. In fact, the lateral positions of their eyes leave them vulnerable to attacks from the sky. Unable to see the eagle above, the ladder snake is oblivious to the danger it now finds itself in. It does not know that an attack is underway until it's too late. In Iberia's woodlands, death often begets new life. Not far away, another golden eagle is fixing a nest where lies her newborn eaglet. Once found all over the world, in recent years, the populations of golden eagles have experienced sharp declines. So this female eagle must protect the nest with extra special care. Happily, her partner arrives back with the ladder snake he's just caught. Today, their little eaglet will eat. In Iberia's woodlands, life is always on the edge. Even the golden eagle, with no natural predators, must fight to survive in these changing lands. Having paired for life, these two eagles now share responsibility in rearing their chick. Hunting for food and providing for him, they will work tirelessly together over the coming months. In approximately 70 days, their little eaglet will make his first solo flight. But until then, they will be fastidious guardians of their most precious prize. The Sierra Morena Mountains in the southwest of Spain are home to one of the most rare and endangered felines on the planet. Found in the region's bush forest thicket, where high numbers of rabbits offer quality refuge, this mysterious and majestic animal is perhaps the most beautiful wild cat in the world. the Iberian lynx. Less than 2 decades ago, the Iberian lynx was practically extinct. There were fewer than 100 left in the wild. Whilst their numbers are still dangerously small, conservation projects and breeding regimes have given this ancient species another lease of life. Thankfully, there are nearly 700 lynxes in Iberia today. Every sighting of an Iberian lynx in these woodlands is to be treasured. But the sight of this beautiful female with 2 cubs already weaned is something to behold. The Iberian lynx is a carnivore and eats mainly small mammals. That said, squirrel is not normally part of its diet. Nevertheless, this lynx looks to the squirrel with desire. But this squirrel seems to read her intentions quite clearly. Because even as the lynx threatens to climb the tree, the squirrel remains unperturbed. Climbing a tree is not complicated for a master climber like the lynx. However, this isn't a hunting exercise. It's more an exhibition for the cubs. The lynx knows that the squirrel's agility and speed is too much for her. She will not exert energy on such a hopeless cause. And besides, her favorite prey isn't squirrel, it's rabbit. Fortunately, this territory is one of her favorite hunting grounds. Wild rabbits are crucial to the survival of Iberia's lynxes. Making up 70% of their diet, the availability of rabbits and the population of lynxes directly correlate. The lynx's behavior shows she is now in hunting mode. With strong, stealthy movements and a steely concentration, she focuses exclusively on her prey. Still, she must choose the right moment and pounce with precision, for rabbits can sense potential predators from very far away. Whilst their mother has been out hunting, these cubs, still very young, have been more preoccupied with the simple things of life. At the moment, their mother is in charge of feeding them, and whilst rabbit stocks are high, they can rely on her bringing them at least a rabbit a day. In due course, these cubs will grow up and become independent hunters themselves. hopefully continuing the lynx's renaissance in these woodlands. But for now, they will be protected, fed, and closely watched by their mother. Such precious treasure deserves the very best of care.
PBS America follows a quest to understand how the use of amphetamines affected the course of World War II and unleash the world's first pharmacological arms race in World War speed.
The woodlands of the Iberian Peninsula in Europe's southwest corner form one of the most extraordinary forests in the world. A complex ecosystem stretching across Spain and Portugal. These woods teem with wildness and life. For thousands of years, some of the most astonishing, endangered, and unusual animals on Earth have made this place their home. A habitat shaped by the region's proximity to Africa, these are some of the most diverse woodlands in the world. But this is also a savage land. Life here is hard. Every species must fight to survive. Now, with the climate changing faster than ever before, the future here is becoming more uncertain. In these ancient forests that have sustained existence for millennia, life now is always on the edge. Summer has arrived in Iberia's woodlands, and with it, the temperature is rising. It marks the beginning of what will be a prolonged period of drought in the region, making survival here even more difficult. While most of the forest birds have now finished breeding, the short-toed snake eagle is still in season. This little eaglet was born 3 months ago. Relatively large and increasingly boisterous, at this stage in life, it must rely on mum and dad to provide it with food. His diet consists largely of reptiles, sometimes lizards, but mostly snakes. A growing boy, he needs to eat several times a day if he's to grow strong enough to make his first solo flight in approximately 3 weeks' time. It means, for his parents, hunting is an all-consuming task. From the air, the male eagle is capable of surveying a vast area. With its 340-degree field of vision and ability to see 5 times further than the average human eye, it's capable of tracking every inch of terrain in high definition. Here, a horseshoe whipsnake rests camouflaged on a tree trunk. When still, it is relatively safe. But even the slightest movement will draw the attention of prying eyes above. The snake eagle hunts by soaring up to 500 meters from the ground. From such height, it can descend rapidly to pounce on snakes unseen. This snake must take cover immediately, because the eagle has seen movement. Capable of descending at up to 150 kilometers an hour, the snake eagle is one of the most deadly predators in these forests. Parachuting down, most snakes are not even aware of an incoming attack until it's too late. For the blissfully ignorant snake, he lives to fight another day. The eaglet has watched everything from the nearby nest. The sight of his father's empty talons will do little for his hunger. However, short-toed snake eagles breed and raise their offspring in pairs. Unfortunately, today, the mother has also been hunting. Like many other birds of prey, the numbers of short-toed snake eagles across the world are currently in steep decline. Changes to the climate and their hunting habitats mean their future survival is far from guaranteed. In a few months, this little eaglet will venture out from the nest and into the world as it migrates for the first time to Africa for the winter. His remaining time in Iberia will likely be sweet, for here, so long as snakes are plentiful, his parents will not cease in their efforts and devotion. The horseshoe whip snake that narrowly avoided death is once again heading out into open terrain. This time, she is leaving her den in this old tree trunk, and she will not be coming back. She has left behind a secret that will be kept for 8 weeks until the heat of summer enables a miraculous event. The cracking shells of these hatching snakes are the sound of a new generation's arrival. Born with a sharp tooth on their lips, these young hatchlings cut their way out of their shells and emerge into the world. Invariably, extending its tongue and tasting its surroundings is the first act of a newborn snake. Their inexperienced eyes take time to adjust. They must feel out their surroundings through smell and taste at this stage. Luckily, each of the 9 eggs laid has resulted in a successful birth. But with no parents present to nurture them, they must fend for themselves from the very start. In need of food soon after hatching, these snakes emerge into Iberia's woodlands. In reality, only 1 or 2 of this nest will survive infancy. Their lives now depend on the fate of the forest. Iberia's woodlands form a rich and complex Mediterranean ecosystem that is home to an extraordinarily diverse range of wildlife. In the summer months, however, surviving here is hard. Drought can last anywhere between 2 and 4 months. And whilst some animals can scavenge the last of spring's nuts and berries, many others find themselves competing for resources that simply aren't there. In recent years, an explosion in the numbers of large herbivores such as deer and mouflon have put unprecedented pressure on these woodlands. Overpopulation by these animals has led to extensive vegetation loss. Constantly wandering in search of something to eat, they erode the soil and have turned these once lush forests into a land of dry soils and rocky shrubs. This herd of mouflon wanders together as a unit. In this way, each animal has a better chance of survival if attacked, a perennial possibility in Iberia's woodlands. Something has caught their attention. A scent in the wind alerts them to a danger nearby. It is a scent they associate with death. Wolves. These Iberian wolves are apex predators in these forests. They feast on boar, rabbits, deer, ibexes, and fish. Unfortunately for them, mouflon are also a part of the wolf's diet. And whenever wolves start maneuvering as a pack in this way, rest assured, a hunt is on. These mouflon make haste in an effort to escape. However, the wolves are not pursuing them. In fact, they have found the corpse of a mouflon who has not survived summer. Primarily hunters, wolves are also perfectly happy to scavenge and feed on the deceased corpses of found animals. Whilst they hunt and live together cooperatively, hierarchy still structures the pack. Here, this old alpha male is leader. The others must respect him and know their place in the pack. For he decides the order in which wolves eat. And throughout feeding, he continuously reminds the others who is boss. The prevailing view of a wolf pack is that of a group of individuals held in check by the alpha. However, their social dynamics are actually more complex. The typical wolf pack is often a family, and in matters of food provision, the adult males are managed by the alpha in a division of labor-style system. today it's meant that this carcass has fed every wolf in the pack. Rivalry amongst wolves is fierce at feeding time, but it is fleeting. For most of their lives, unity defines the pack. This spirit of cooperation has been crucial to the wolves' survival in Iberia. Nearly extinct only a few decades ago, today a small number survive against the odds. Rivalry defines all life in Iberia's woodlands. Competition both within and between species is unavoidable. Here, plants compete with each other for space, nutrients and sunlight. And some have evolved rather unusual tendencies to survive in these dry and drought-prone lands. The Drosophilum belongs to the carnivorous group of plants. Its leaves secrete a syrupy substance whose sweet aroma is irresistible to many insects. This grasshopper has fallen into its trap. Drosophilum's leaves are inescapably sticky and contain digestive enzymes that kill. Over the next few days, it will slowly suffocate this grasshopper before dissolving it and absorbing its nutrients for itself. Amongst carnivorous plants, the Drosophilum is one of the most successful hunters in the world. Capable of capturing a vast quantity of prey, it is well adapted to surviving in these barren soils. Innocent though it looks, it is the silent serial killer of these forest floors. Insects' lives are short, but very intense. These paper wasps are working hard to build a hive before the rainy season returns. From organic matter, they are trying to produce a pulp which they will use like cement to build their house. Fibrous materials such as wood bark and plant stems are the key ingredients. Breaking these down with their saliva, they produce a wet paper-like pulp that sets hard into a hive. In order to find the perfect building materials, worker wasps head out from the colony. But even for aggressive wasps, life outside the colony is never guaranteed. The praying mantis is a master wasp killer. A genius of camouflage and disguise, it goes undetected amongst the leaves. Wasps are well adapted to surviving attacks. With their deadly sting, most insect eaters know to leave them well alone. But the praying mantis does not fear. It trusts its ambush instincts. Pouncing with precision, the mantis holds the wasp still, securing both its jaws and stinger before sucking out its brains. And her appetite has no limits. In just a few minutes, she is capable of catching and devouring countless wasps. Normally the bullies of the insect kingdom, today, these wasps had no chance. For they found themselves in rivalry with perhaps the most masterful insect killer on Earth. As darkness falls in Iberia's woodlands, the moon and stars awaken those of a nocturnal nature, animals for whom day begins at night. Mice, most active at dusk, here emerge into the moonlight. Having evolved for nocturnal living, mice have a few nighttime tricks up their furry sleeves. Their eyes actually improve in low light, becoming more sensitive to movement. With fewer predators than during the day, it makes night the safest time for mice to scavenge and feast. But it's not only mice who take advantage of night's relative safety. Lit by moonlight, the forest is a midnight feast that's open to all. These snails set out in the cool of night in search of something green to eat. But the forest pantry is not kind to everyone evenly. Primarily a vegetarian, hunger has made this mouse a more flexible eater this evening. Unfamiliar with the technique, extracting escargot from their shells is harder than it first seems. But with patience and perseverance, it succeeds. For a hungry mouse, it proves a delicious midnight feast. With its belly full of snail, the mouse can return to its evening escapades. But tonight still has a few more surprises up its sleeve. Startled by the mouse, this mantis assumes its kung fu pose. En garde. With her outstretched wings, this mantis is pretending to be bigger and even more dangerous than she already is. However, the mouse is more confused than alarmed, but it would not be wise to let its guard down, because mantises are more than capable of killing small mammals like mice and birds. This time, the mantis has let the mouse get away with a warning. But some creatures of the night are less forgiving. A snub-nosed viper. Mice are insatiably curious animals. However, unfortunately for them, they are also an integral part of the viper's diet. This mouse has no reason to suspect it is in danger. A poisonous hunter, the snub-nosed viper here stalks by lying perfectly still and waiting for the mouse to walk into its trap. A lethal injection of venom, delivered through the viper's fangs, has taken effect. In just a few moments, this mouse will be dead. The mouse's scent guides the viper. It is searching for its head. Like all snakes, vipers prefer to eat rodents head first. After locating the head, the viper begins the process of swallowing the mouse whole. Vipers' lower jawbones are connected only by ligaments that allow them to open their mouths extremely wide. Inching the mouse into its throat, the viper will, in time, swallow this mouse whole. It will then digest it over the coming days. In Iberia's woodlands, mice are an essential link in the ecosystem. Their availability directly affects many species who need them to survive. Fortunately, nighttime will always bring mice out to play. And whilst death at the fangs of vipers is brutal, it is absolutely necessary in maintaining the forest's delicately balanced food chain. A hunter famed for its cunning and stealth is found all over Iberia. The red fox, one of the great survivors of these lands. Here in southwestern Spain, it happily shares its habitat with another predator, the mongoose. Together, these two have lived and hunted side by side for generations. This summer, however, is proving hard for both of them. Temperatures have been scorching, and there's been no rain for several months. With available food now in short supply, both foxes and mongooses are having to take drastic measures to survive. Another fox has succumbed to this brutal summer, and its scent has attracted mongooses nearby. Mongooses usually eat small mammals, birds and reptiles. Dead fox is not normally a meal. But this summer, there is nothing else to choose from. Their choice is between eating and starvation. That mongooses have been reduced to eating foxes, predators they share a bond with, is a worrying harbinger of things to come. This year, summer has wreaked havoc in the forest. Animals like the red fox are simply not managing to survive. Where carrion can be found, it falls to apex predators like this golden eagle. But desperate to eat and smelling food nearby, this fox has no choice but to try his luck. With razor-sharp claws and a beak as strong as steel, golden eagles can make easy prey of foxes. But a slave to hunger, the fox inches in. In normal circumstances, the fox would never risk coming this close to a golden eagle. But these are not normal circumstances. For all animals, surviving in Iberia's woodlands has never been this hard. Today, this fox's hunger will not be relieved. Whether or not it will survive summer is yet to be seen. All animals are hardwired to survive. Even in the most testing of habitats, they search to satisfy their basic needs. Animals here search for places to hunt, mate, and shelter. But most importantly, they must search for a good place to drink. With the scorching heat of summer building, water is now the most precious resource. These red-rumped swallows are collecting mud to build their nests. They are extremely late in breeding. Usually, this would have been done in spring. However, due to unprecedented climate change, many species are confused by uncharacteristic seasons that seem out of sync. In areas where clay soil allows for water retention, mercifully, some small ponds do exist. While the waters last, animals will travel here every day to quench their thirst and take respite from the sun. As day gives way to night once more, a creature emerges who has survived here since the 4th millennium BC. An unlikely survivor, the Etruscan shrew is the smallest terrestrial mammal still living on Earth. Weighing in at under 2 grams, less than the weight of a paperclip, his heart beats nearly 1,200 times a minute. Yet, despite his diminutive size, he is one of the fastest and most tactile hunters in these forests, though only small insects need be alarmed. In most instances, the shrew's small size helps him go unnoticed. However, he is vulnerable to one predator whose poor eyesight does not diminish its hunting prowess. This tawny owl hunts with an almost supernatural sense of hearing. And tonight, it's listening for something to eat. The Etruscan shrew has very poor eyesight, but its senses of smell and hearing are extraordinary. Hyper alert, he senses he is in danger, even if he doesn't know from whom. When in doubt, better safe than sorry. With the shrew ensconced in the shell, the tawny owl heads off to assess other hunting grounds. Next, he will try his luck at a nearby pond, which he can hear is awash with activity. These Iberian green frogs excite the owl's predatory instincts. But catching a leaping frog is hard, even for an accomplished predator like an owl. A miscalculated attack will send the frogs scampering deep underwater. The owl must strike with silence and precision if it has any chance of catching a frog. Success. Whilst not as appetizing as shrew, tonight the tawny owl has at least secured a substantial meal. A rare reservoir of spring rain is a sanctuary for birds parched by summer's sweltering heat. These ponds are formed from rainfall accumulated throughout the year. For many of Spain's sedentary bird species, like mallards, grebes and glossy ibis, this pool will be their home for as long as the waters last. For others, like flamingos, they come here every year in celebration after successfully breeding nearby. But for storks migrating south to Africa, these reservoirs are lifelines. Like a compass, they direct the flock, sometimes more than 8,000 strong. With still more than 3,000 kilometers to travel, these storks will pause here to replenish themselves and rest. Traditionally, the stork's departure from these waters is a sign that summer is nearly complete. However, these days, rising temperatures from climate change are unsettling the natural order. Each year, ever more storks abandon their migration to remain in Spain throughout the winter. What this means for the future of the species, no one truly knows. But for now, whilst the majority of storks do migrate, it is still possible to witness one of the most beautiful spectacles on Earth. A signal in the wind has announced that the time to depart has come. These storks will now travel to their winter grounds in sub-Saharan Africa. A majestic sight, their presence in Iberia will be missed throughout winter. However, in just 5 months' time, they will return when they herald the arrival of spring. Nature is constantly in flux. As the storks up sticks and leave, it marks the transitioning of the seasons. In September, the roars of red deer fill the forest. Rutting season has arrived. This bellowing male is angling for attention. He is daring other males to fight him for supremacy of these lands. Responding in kind, this younger male aspires to the crown. It means that battle will commence. Pumped full of testosterone, these male deer are battling for the most important prize of their lives: access to a harem of fertile females. Combat will only end when the weaker animal surrenders. But with no sign of that happening anytime soon, an opportunity presents itself for another competitor to try his luck with the females. With so many rival deer competing in this way, rutting season in Iberia is never short on drama. In recent years, Iberia has seen an explosion in its red deer population, but drought conditions, particularly in the south, are making it ever harder for them to survive here. Increased rivalry and diminishing resources mean ever more deer are being found dead. Griffon vultures have adapted to this new reality with characteristic ease. Vultures are the great scavengers of the forest. Feeding on the carcasses of dead animals, they soar over open areas scanning the ground below for potential meals. Here, they have found a male deer who has not survived the summer. A feeding frenzy. It's a lucky day for the horde. At a kill, admittedly, things do get ugly. Competition can be fierce, and fights regularly break out between birds. As more and more diners join the party, tensions rise. No one is prepared to relinquish their share of the feast. Whilst it seems that etiquette is abandoned entirely, in truth, hierarchy determines the choreography of the meal. The most dominant vulture feeds himself, then controls the order in which others eat. The hungriest are fed, whilst latecomers are rejected from the feast. Like all scavengers, vultures play a critical role in the forest's ecosystem. Sanitarians of the land, by cleaning the fields of carcasses, they help prevent the spread of disease between species. Here, after just a few minutes, all that is left of this deer is its skeleton. For those vultures who were able to feast, they will now survive for several weeks without needing to eat again. The others, however, will continue in search of another corpse. Rivalry can be harsh, but it is essential, for it's nature's way of ensuring a species' best chance of survival in these savage lands. As summer fades away in Iberia's woodlands, it is soon time for winter to arrive. With it, new challenges will come to the Mediterranean. New sounds fill the land, and new visitors the skies. These cranes are here from northern Europe to enjoy a milder winter. But even in more temperate months, surviving here is never guaranteed. Now, as the climate changes faster than ever before, life becomes ever more uncertain as wildlife is increasingly under threat. And whilst nature will ultimately decide who survives here, humans must take responsibility. Conservation efforts and politics can affect change if forged by the better angels of our nature. For if we do not take action, these ancient and diverse woodlands will be nothing more than a memory of what nature used to be.